into the box score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. Justin Malden, as always, doing a great job for us. And Murphy, the nights are getting cooler, and it feels like high school football weather.
Well, it's warmed up a little bit this week. Last weekend, we all needed a jacket for whatever game we went to. But yeah, it's there's a little nip in the air, and it's starting to feel like real football weather. And it's hard to believe that the playoffs are only a couple of weeks away.
Murphy, when you look, you've got a lot of teams with non-region games this week and then a big region finale next week. Some teams have 2 region games left, but there's still a lot, when I look at the standings, to be decided.
Oh, there really is. Nothing's cut in stone in a lot of regions across the state, and it always amazes me, because for so many years I was doing the playoff programs, and it always amazed me how many regions are not settled until the very last week. You know, you got the best 2 or 3 teams still at the top. Like I said, that one West Tennessee region, 2 weeks to go, 4 teams are tied for first place with a 4-1 record.
Of course,
crazy.
This is, I guess, week 10. Is that right?
It is.
Well, it doesn't seem right. But, you know, with having said that, Murph, let's go ahead and look at our Cascade at Caney County. That was our game of the week for Huff and Puff Trucking in Caney County. Another impressive win, 48-21 over Cascade. Rushing numbers and total offense. That's a great night. Over 500 yards of offense for the Lions.
I interviewed Coach Barch earlier in the week, as I always do for WBRY, and I told him, I said, Coach, this is not the same football team we saw in August. He said, no, the kids have worked really, really hard. We got some athletes on that team, and they understand the system, and I know they're going to Marion County to wind up the regular season this week. But don't take anything for granted. The Lions are going to play well, I think.
Both teams, a lot of offense. Cascade with 354 total yards, so roughly 870 yards between the 2 schools. But Caney County, I don't know if I've ever seen a more explosive Caney County Lion team, Murphy. I don't know where it ranks as far as scoring all time, but it's got to be toward their top.
I watched their game on my phone, not last week, but the week before, and I think there were at least 4 touchdowns of 60 yards or more.
Right.
Yeah, the big play is there waiting to happen on every snap of the ball.
Let's go ahead and look at some individual numbers. First, for the Lions of Cascade, it's Kobe Miller, 13 rushes, 144 yards, 66-yard touchdown pass for a couple of touchdowns there, 210 total yards of offense. They owed him 7 receptions for 156 yards and a score. Eli Garrett, 12 of 16, 131 yards, 2 scores and 42 yards rushing. Murphy, when you look and you're averaging 20, 25 yards per play, first of all, the guys up front have got to be doing a great job.
Yep.
If you're throwing the ball down the field that much, and then the yak, or yards after catch, that's got to be way up there as well.
Mr. Garrett, the quarterback, you know his mama's got to be awfully proud. She's the athletic director over there, Lydia, and does a good job in that regard. But he's a real threat, and the good part is he's only a junior, and he's already starting to draw some college offers.
Looking at Cascade, Braxton Burris, 13 of 22, 202 yards and a touchdown. He did have 2 picks. He had 23 yards rushing, another score. Caden Hill, 7 carries for 62 yards for the champions, and Landon King, 66-yard touchdown reception. We want to thank Sonic of Carthage sponsoring our stats each and every week. But Murphy, there has kind of been some pop off the charts numbers posted for Caney County this year. You know, and I think the system is part of that, but I think the kids believing in each other. They're not the same Caney County team we may have seen in the past, Murphy.
No, and I need to make an addition. Eli's dad's awfully proud too. Okay.
Right. For sure. Let's go ahead and look at the Smith County at Westmoreland. Smith County had that a game at halftime. It was only 14-6, but Westmoreland with their running game, 51 rushes, 427 yards in the game, which is right at 8 yards a pop. Nothing big. There wasn't any 70, 80, 90-yard runs or 50-yard runs. It was just very, very methodical, 5, 6, 8, 10 yards a pop. And Cooper White leading the way. He scored their first 4 touchdowns, 16 rushes for 148 yards. Dylan Brandon, 7 carries for 78 yards. Westmoreland, with that win, wins the region for the first time since 2006.
Wow.
They beat Smith County in the regular season that year, 12-10, to win that region, but then Smith County avenged that loss in the quarterfinals of playoff when they go to Westmoreland, and they won 26-21 to get the Owls into one of its 3 all-time semifinal berths. Speaking of the Owls, Riley Martin, 9 for 15, 82 yards. He goes over 1,000 yards with a pass play there in the second quarter. He had a touchdown that was to Wyatt Claywell there late in the second quarter. Wyatt had 5 receptions for 68 yards, but the Owls only 91 yards of offense the entire game and nearly 484 for Westmoreland.
Words escape me as to how Westmoreland fans must feel right now, because back in the 70s, I know 80s and 90s, Westmoreland was always a force to be reckoned with. They've had some years where things weren't quite so great on the gridiron, but right now Westmoreland's a team you don't want to play.
Let's go ahead and look at the Watertown at Grundy County. That was played on Thursday night, and what a game it was. Watertown scores late to get the 1-point victory, and I think that's a region game for them. Blake Waldorf continues his outstanding season, now over 2,000 yards passing. He was 24 for 41 for 288 passing yards, but then throw in another 97 yards rushing. He accounted for 5 total touchdowns. Marcus Reynolds, 10 receptions, 145 yards and a score. Jesse Bratcher, 7 receptions for 68 yards and a score. Murphy, when I saw Watertown against Smith County earlier this year in the Jamboree, Gavin Webster told me, we're young, Terry. They had some injuries.
Sure.
He said, once we get seasoned, we'll play better football, and they have.
You look at the corresponding region, Region 3, and it looks like Watertown's probably going to finish 3rd in that particular region. But that Chattanooga region is not very strong, and Watertown could very well win 1 or 2 playoff games the way they're playing right now.
Of course, Watertown's got a region game in week 11 there. Looking at Grundy County, Vince Bryant, 24 rushes, 171 yards, 2 scores. And then TK Brown, 17 carries, 111 yards, and a couple of more scores. But Grundy, at Grundy, it's always, it's a big event. They have a nice stadium, they have a nice following, and that was a big win for Watertown.
And it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Right, you're right. It definitely is. We'll go ahead and have an interview with Stephen Jackson, the Gordonsville head coach, when we return to the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
At DTC, we're constantly looking at ways to improve your quality of life, to help you make the most of all your connections, so that you'll have time for the things that matter most, whether at work or play.
Score the best connection with internet that slays. Receive a free month of service when you add or upgrade your internet package with DTC. It's a great time to get started.
Call or visit DTC online today and make the most of your connections.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines is a proud supporter of athletic programs throughout the area, including high school football and high school basketball. To learn more about us, please visit us at our website, www.nearstar.com. near Star, Tennessee zinc mines.
Here with head coach Steven Jackson, the Gordonsville Tigers, here on the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. And Coach Jackson, you got a couple tough opponents left, I know that, in Bledsoe County and then Clay County for the region championship.
Yes, sir. It's going to be two really, really hard opponents. I think Bledsoe's 7-1 and Clay's 6-2. So it's going to be two really good football games, really good football teams that we're going to have to play really well to win.
Hadn't been a single A team beat Bledsoe County. Their only loss to York Institute, who now is playing at the 2A level. What things concern you most about Bledsoe County and its football team?
Well, they are a very veteran team. They've got a lot of kids back from last year. They're really, really physical on offense and defense. And then on offense, they run the, foot-to-foot wing tee that's, a little different. We faced a couple wing tee teams in, scrimmages against Westmoreland and, but it's just different how they do things as far as foot-to-foot, and get downhill right at you. So it's, concerning, but it's something that, our kids are watching film and, seeing, how to defend it.
Coach, I know the venue there is so pretty looking back from the press box towards the mountains. And, the one thing about that, it's a pretty drive to Pikeville. Hopefully some leaves will be turning for y'all to drive down to Bledsoe County. But when you get there, it seems like, you mentioned physical, and the last 2 or 3 years, they've been a very, very physical football team on both sides of the ball.
Oh, they are that. It's, I'm excited about going to Bledsoe. I've been one time. My nephew was coaching in Monterey, and me and my wife went down and watched them play when we had an off week about 3-4 years ago. But it was dark when we was going. It was late in the year, so I'm excited about going there. But yeah, they're a very physical team on offense and defense, and do a great job on special teams of kicking some onside kicks, and they keep you on your toes the whole time.
Coach, you've got to drive slow. First, for a safety factor, and then number 2, you don't want a bunch of football players getting car sick. That's a pretty curvy road once you leave McMinnville if you go that way.
It is, and that's what, I think down 111 is the way that we're going. We actually went down there this last weekend. Me and my wife went and some friends down there, so I was able to take that road 111, and but it's like you're saying, it's a curvy road, but it's a beautiful, area, especially all the mountains.
Coach Jackson, how important is it that you had the bye week for players to get back healthy, bumps and bruises, but also to study the type of offense that your team will be running against?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, I think the bye week is a huge thing to have, because once we didn't practice that Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Just tried to get away from football for a little bit to, recharge your batteries and get them ready to go. But it was good. We came in Thursday and Friday and watched some film and practice to be able to see what we're facing this week, and so to get our kids a little bit of a head start on Bledsoe. But it's been those 2 days was good, and then a good week of preparation.
Coach, you mentioned that the off week is a good thing to take care of bumps and bruises and that sort of thing. Overall, is your team about as healthy as it's been all season, or do we still have some other kids that may not see action this week?
We've got a couple kids that are still got some injuries, but we're getting close to being back to as close to 100% as we can get. This time, the year, you're always going to have an ankle or some kind of little injury that's, keeping you from being on the field or keeping you limited during the week, but playing on Friday night. So, we got a great trainer, Nick Sackman, that does a great job of getting our kids prepared for, through therapy and stuff, getting them back on the field as fast as possible.
Coach, you played a lot of non-region games that are very tough. And I know when you look at that, I go back to the Monterey game where they were kind of very physical and came to Gordonsville and won. You couldn't cash in your red zone trips, which hurt your offense and your shutout. But still, Coach, playing teams like that, I think, makes you better for the playoffs and like you've got the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's what we want to, we have 3 teams, 3 games in our region that we had to play. So it's all about trying to get, the best teams that you can get. We have a bunch of rival games that we're always going to have on our schedule. But, playing Forest and playing Bledsoe County, it gets us, like you're saying, gets us ready for the playoffs and what we're going to see in the playoffs.
Coach, I want to jump forward a week or two because right now we've already seen enrollment figures, and we know that Gordonsville, for example, is going to be playing at the 2A level. All of a sudden, that inter-county rivalry between Smith County and Gordonsville has a whole new meaning. But you're going to have a pretty good new list of people that you're going to play. Have you put scenarios together to figure out what that region might look like?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried, but I mean, there's so many scenarios. I think it's a lot to do with, with East Nashville and Pearl Cone, what they do for sure. But it's going to be, we thought that we would end up moving up, possibly this cycle. We actually have lower enrollment than we did what we turned in last cycle. So, but where they went, I guess, the 50 teams through each class, we end up getting moved up, which we, like I said, we kind of knew that. So we started playing what we thought would be our region. I mean, we're always going to play Carthage and Trisdale, but we played Monterey. We scrimmaged Westmoreland. We scrimmaged East Robertson. We, it's just, we kind of thought we was going to be moving up. So, we tried to get those guys on the schedule to get, ourselves familiar with them. And, that way if we do move into the region with them.
Coach, when you look at your team and, when you get this time of year, you want balance for sure on offense. And I feel like that you've got that with your running game and your passing game. It really makes teams who may have saw 5, 6, 7 films on you maybe not try to stop just the run or just the pass if you can do both, because they've got so much history on you going back to the first game.
Oh, that's right. I mean, and, we try to say that we want to run the football when we want to run the football and throw it when we want to throw it. But if you can be a 50-50 team, I mean, it makes, defensively, you can't load the box, to stop the run, or you can't drop 8 to stop the pass. You got to be able to, put enough in the box to stop the run, but also have enough in the, to stop the pass. So it's something that, we've got better as the years gone, getting more balanced with our pass run. But it's, hopefully we'll keep on getting better with that and make it harder on the teams that we play.
Stephen, tell me about your quarterback situation. The only times I've seen Gordonsville play this year were early, and the Foster kid was not on the field at that point in time. I know he has been some since then, but are you still pretty much a 2-quarterback system?
We've went more the last few games with Jay. He's been the quarterback. But, I mean, Mason's a guy that's been able to step in if we need him, and he did a great job early on in the year. But, the last few games, Foster's, been playing most of the snaps.
Coach, when you look at these last 2 games on the road, I know you have a tremendous home field advantage when you have that. And this week may not make much difference, but next week, if you could go to Clay County and get a win, then that would ensure that you would play a couple of games at home. And I know that's something that you'd love to do in the playoffs. Yeah,
I mean, we're fortunate being the Region 4 team that, if we can win our region and we can survive each round of the playoffs, we could play all 4 at home. So it's a huge game. It's a hard place to go play in Clay County. I mean, my first year we went up there twice and lost both of those. So it's going to be a huge challenge next week and to go up to Salina. But if we can, it helps our chances to be able to survive and advance in the playoffs playing at home all 4 rounds.
Nobody in the Upper Cumberland wants to play on the road, and certainly Gordonsville falls into that mold about doing better when they play at Turney Ford Field. Good luck to you guys this week and next week as well, and into the postseason.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we've been talking with Gordonsville head coach Steven Jackson. We'll have an interview with Steve Trapp, the DeKalb County coach, when we return. As we remind you, you're watching The Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Got a special outdoor project that you need to tackle? BDGR Excavating is the one to call. Custom land clearing, mulching, excavation, and more. They can help get the job done, even when others have failed. Call the problem solvers at BDGR at 615-489-1329 and let them help you get that project out of the way so you can really start enjoying your property. BDGR Excavating.
Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines is a proud supporter of athletic programs throughout the area, including high school football and high school basketball. To learn more about us, please visit us at our website, www.nearstar.com. Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Call Underwood Hometown Realty today. Our experienced team of professionals is here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to sell, we make the process smooth and stress-free. With deep roots in the community, we know the local market inside and out. Let us help you find your dream home or get the best value for your current one. Call Underwood Hometown Realty now at 615-683-3300, where hometown service meets real estate expertise.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Here with DeKalb County head coach Steve Trapp on the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. And Coach Trapp, you got 2 extremely tough opponents in White County and then Upman to end your regular season. But looking at your region, which is extremely tough, I think there's 7 teams, and 5 of those, no doubt, could be in the top 10 of the state of Tennessee. But it is what it is. You need to win both to get in the playoffs and keep your streak alive.
Yeah, and that's something that we're proud of. There's a lot of years here at DeKalb County football and, extra games and playoffs. That just wasn't something that was spoken about. And, and it's something that we talk about every January. Don't take that for granted, because that's not always been the case as far as being able to get those extra games. And, I even said before the season that, especially this year, that, making the playoffs out of this region will be the toughest road that we had ever had to face to get there. We made the playoffs a few years with a 3-7 record, and we only had to beat one team, and we was fortunate enough to do that. This is a good football team that we got, and it would be, it would feel really bad personally, if we wasn't able to, get these guys some extra games. So we understand the situation. We understand what we're faced with. We understand that we know we put ourselves here, by, not playing better in other situations and in other region games, in which they were quality opponents as well. So, but we're excited that we're, here at the end of the year having an opportunity to play important football games. Again, there's been many a times where that's not always the case. So, like I said, we understand what's in front of us, and we're just excited to get going.
Steve, what's the morale like among the young men who put on the pads and the helmets and that sort of thing?
Well, we got a bunch of good kids. They work extremely hard. They sacrifice a lot, and and I think they enjoy being around each other. We took some time off last week with a bye week and fall break and all that good stuff. And I just told them I hope they come back with a refreshment about them, a renewed sense of priority, because they understand what's at stake. They understand that what's out there. And, like I said, we've played some good football. We've not played our best football in the last couple of games that we've had. But, again, it's always about learning and growing from your last opportunity and being prepared and ready to go for your next one. So I think these guys are ready for that.
Coach, when you look at White County, Trapp, he does everything for them. I know he was hurt earlier in the season. What's his status now?
I don't know. If you guys know, you can let me know at this point. But I know he didn't play in the last game that we got film of him. And, the Cumberland County game, I think that's where he actually got hurt. And I think that's been 3 weeks. I think they had a bye week last week, was on break as well. So, he may have healed up. Like I said, you hear all kinds of different things. And, so we just got to prepare for, everything that they've shown with him, which is a lot, and then everything that they've shown without him, which is a lot. And some of it's the same stuff, but then they've added stuff. So, a lot of credit goes to their coaches to, having different plans and different things going on without him out there. But no doubt he's a special athlete, a special young man, and has had a lot of success there for them. And he has everybody's attention, no matter who's playing against him. But like I said, all we can do is, prepare for what we've seen with and without Trapp, and and just make sure our guys are ready.
Steve, it's no secret that you've got a tough road ahead of you with first and second place in that particular region still to play. But this is not the first time you've had your back against the wall and generally come out smelling like a rose. What do you tell your kids during practice that you haven't already told them a half a dozen times?
Well, like I said, we don't hide the fact that we understand what we're up against. And, at the end of the day, though, we have a chance. And that chance relies solely on what we can control. And, and ultimately that's how we prepare and how we get ready. But I think the most important thing is just the heart and the mindset that we take out onto the field. So, we won our last game, and I wasn't pleased with it at all. They heard it. They've seen it, and they understand. And, so they've got to expect a battle, and that's what we've got to put out on the field, and just put it all out there. That's what we want every time. But, now that, pretty much your back's against the wall, because if you don't win this one, then, the next one, is not going to get you there, So our thing right now is, hey, this is playoffs now. You win, you get a chance for a championship game. That's kind of the mindset that I've been going at them. And, hopefully they buy into it, prepare like crazy, and get out there and play some good football and give ourselves a chance to keep doing things special here in DeKalb.
Coach, when you look at White County, over the last 2 or 3 years especially, they have really improved because they had gotten to a very bad state with their football program. I think not even playing inside a district and just playing various opponents. But it seems like they've rebuilt that. Back in the 80s, they kind of used to be a juggernaut in Class AA, with that time only 3 classifications. And, White County has, built a solid footing to base a program on. What would you attribute that to?
Well, they went independent there for a couple of years, and, the region that they was in was kind of tough. And like I said, it was in the middle of, what you spoke about. And I think going independent allowed them to have some success. And, they got some really good playmakers that come through there at the right time. And, they got a big group of guys that's, played together a long time and been together. It's got a lot of experience. Pretty much everybody we see on film is the same that was on film last year. So they've been there, they've done that, they've got that experience, so they've got that confidence with how they played and how they performed. A lot of credit goes to the coaches. Coach Frazier that was there before, which he still helps a little bit. Coach Beatty coming in and continuing that. So, just a lot of credit goes to them, but, winning helps, and being successful helps. And that's what they've done over the last few years. And they've continued it. And like I said, they've got some really talented players and that also helps as well.
Coach, these last two games, as important as they are, they're going to be played in Tiger Country. They're home games, and I don't ever remember, and since you've been there in the last several years, going to a DeKalb County game that the stands weren't full. I certainly hope all of your fan base knows that 12th man or 12th woman, whatever you want to call them, are just as important as the guys on the field. They can make a huge difference this week and next, don't you think?
It's definitely, and it's huge. You know, our last two home games, because of the weather, you know, they've been moved to Thursdays, and you know, our middle school was playing on those both of those Thursdays as well, and they had such a great season and all that. So I mean, and you know, that's just the way it was, you know. But now you know, I think we've got a great environment out here with everything that we've done over the last 20 years. So it's a fun place to play, a fun place to be, and you know, our community supports us a lot. So we're grateful for that, and you know, we expect them to come out and say that they understand it's a big game as well, and you know, hopefully they'll want to come out and watch it and see it and be a part of the atmosphere.
Coach, I've got an opportunity with DTC TV to do the White County and DeKalb County basketball games, and there seems like, with it being such a border rivalry, that you know, both crowds are very enthusiastic, and I'm sure that'll be the case.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Well, I'm trying to be nice here, but you know, when you're involved in a rivalry like that, Coach, I think it's very special. We have that in Smith County with the Owls and the Tigers, and I know you have that with several different of your border schools, but to be involved with something like that is special.
It is, and like our whole schedule almost now is made up of, you know, the neighboring county, you know, just surrounding us, you know, so almost every week is that border deal, you know, and it's fun, you know, because we are close enough to where you have some relationships with people in these different counties and things like that, and you know, so that's what makes it fun. That's what makes small town and high school football, you know, fun. Just that camaraderie that you can build, that respectful thing between programs. But you know, you understand you got to get after each other. But at the end of the night, you know, you're all out there trying to attain the same thing. And you know, as head coaches, you know, I think we got a bunch of great head coaches in this area that definitely want to win, but also want to, you know, take care of these guys and just try to help them out the best that we can so that they're better human beings. You know, so it's fun, and you know, we look forward to each and every Friday night, so we're excited.
Over the years that I have covered high school football in Tennessee, football in the Upper Cumberland has made huge strides, Steve, and you're one of the guys that's responsible for that. There's not any pushover in the Upper Cumberland anymore. They're all tough games, and hopefully that'll be the situation in Smithville this week and next week, and we'll have plenty to celebrate come November, okay?
I tell you what, I mean, I can guarantee you one thing. You know, we're going to put our hammers on. We're going to come out there. We're going to play hard, and the teams that we're going to face are going to do the same thing. And I do agree with you. The quality of football in the Upper Cumberland, from where I started and to where it is now, I mean, you can't just walk through a week and expect to show up and just let it happen. You know, I think that was a little bit of our mindset the last game that we played in. You know, we was tooth and nail, and you know, had to pull it out there and win. So, and I think that got our guys' attention a little bit too. Even though we tell them, you know, as head coaches, you know, trust the process. Doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter about records. There's a process you got to go through. You got to mentally prepare. You got to physically prepare, and then go do your job the way it's supposed to be done. But you know, sometimes that complacency and just the young minds of teenagers, and if we had that secret sauce or ingredient that could get them to click in, then we could sell it in bottles and be billionaires. But and again, that's another thing that makes it exciting and challenging at the same time. It's just, again, that's part of trying to help these young men learn and grow and just be as productive as they can in whatever they choose to do.
Well, Coach Trapp, best of luck in our Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week against White County. A lot of people call them Sparta on Friday night.
I appreciate it, fellas. Thank you.
Okay, we've been visiting with Steve Trapp, and we'll have a preview of the White County and DeKalb County game, which will be in Smithville on Friday night when we return. As we remind you, you're watching the Box Score presented by Carthage Safeway.
Do you ever worry about the safety of your home when you leave? Or at night while you're sleeping? Then give your home a professional security makeover with help from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. There's never been a better time to get started.
Contact us and start your home's DTC Security Makeover today.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
Got a special outdoor project that you need to tackle? BDGR Excavating is the one to call. Custom land clearing, mulching, excavation, and more. They can help get the job done, even when others have failed. Call the problem solvers at BDGR at 615-489-1329 and let them help you get that project out of the way so you can really start enjoying your property. BDGR Excavating.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Call Underwood Hometown Realty today. Our experienced team of professionals is here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to sell, we make the process smooth and stress-free. With deep roots in the community, we know the local market inside and out. Let us help you find your dream home or get the best value for your current one. Call Underwood Hometown Realty now at 615-683-3300, where hometown service meets real estate expertise.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. Box Score brought to you each week by our title sponsor, which is Carthage Safeway. Go by and see Todd and Angela. They've got some great stuff on their bar. In fact, they've been doing some catering for me, so you can call them for all your catering needs. Murphy, when you look, we look at White County at DeKalb County. It's a border rival. It's a huge game for the Tigers, as Coach Steve Trapp told us earlier. Whether Trip Pinion plays or not could be a big factor in determining the winner of this game.
Sure can, and you know, those Coach Trapp probably won't emphasize that. I wouldn't think anyway. It's more about playing your best game regardless of who's on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and the fact that that game's in Smithville, it'll be a rocking place this week when kickoff takes place.
I have noticed that in that border rivalry, whether it's basketball, baseball, whatever sport it is, Murphy, there is a lot of enthusiasm.
Sure.
And I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to say animosity, but enthusiasm when those two teams get together.
Well, somebody mentioned earlier in one of our segments about the relationship, and we're not just talking about friendships. We're talking about brothers and sisters and cousins that live in both of those counties. Right. And you can bet your last dollar it's already being talked about a lot in both Sparta and Smithville.
All right, Murph, we're going to have to pull off the hat. You got me last week because I talked to you after the show. I said I thought Friendship would beat York, but you were right. York beat Friendship, so
it was pretty close.
To you.
It was pretty close.
A very close ball game, and one that turns the heads every year of Alcoa and Maryville, and usually it's the only loss for either one of those squads during the regular season, and they always have a great chance to win the state championship in Alcoa in 3A and Maryville in 6A.
I think Alcoa's won 8 in a row or something like that, and Maryville's back though. They had, I think Coach Hunt told me in an interview last week that of the 22 starters, and they have no two-way starters, 18 are back this year.
Right.
And so consequently, when you got that many veterans out there on a field in a program like Maryville, I think they're destined for a third-round game with Oakland, and a fourth-round game, excuse me, thank you.
Semis, yeah.
And then whoever wins that's probably gonna play Ravenwood, if I had to guess.
Anderson County at Gibbs.
Oh, both of those teams are undefeated in the region, and I don't recall Gibbs being this far along in the season with such small numbers in the loss column. Should be a great game. Anderson County, I've got a little bit of a place in my heart for that because those folks up there have been so good to me in the past. I'm going to have to go with Anderson County on that one.
Silverdale Baptist at Knoxville Grace.
Unless Kenny Chesney suits out for the game for Gibbs.
There you go.
That's where he went to high school.
Right.
Knoxville Grace is two brothers who coached at Campbell County for a long, long time. That's where they grew up, although they played at Anderson County, are really doing a great job at Knoxville Grace, and I think that may be the upset of the week. Silverdale's awfully good, but the fact they're playing at Grace could be the difference in the ball game.
Middle Tennessee picks, looking Ravenwood at Oakland. A lot of people will be at that ball game.
That'll be a moneymaker for sure. Williamson County versus Rutherford County should be a great game, and I'm not so sure that Ravenwood may win that ball game. It could go either way. Whoever turns the ball over the most will probably come away the loser, but I think Kevin Creasy does such a great job of pulling it out in the closing moments. I think Oakland probably wins that one.
Forest at Moore County.
I've seen Forest play. They're the real deal, and they're probably, I think, going to go to 3A next year. They're in 2A right now, but the fact that Coach Palmer, who did such a great job at Shelbyville a few years ago, has done the same thing at Forest in his first year, and Moore County had a great senior class this past year, so I think Forest probably wins that one.
Lipscomb Academy at Brentwood Academy.
Saw Lipscomb play this past Friday night. They've got an 8th grader at quarterback who dressed out for the first time 2.5 weeks ago. He's a phenom that's going to be very, very special. But I still think that even though Lipscomb's got probably 5 or 6 kids that are committed to Power 5 schools at the next level, I think Paul Wade pulls out a win at Brentwood Academy.
West Tennessee picks, Peabody at Milan.
Well, that's probably going to be for the region championship. It'll be for the county championship anyway. Got to go with Milan in that one. They're playing really, really well with Wade Comer, the former coach at McKenzie for so many years, is now the head coach at Milan, and he's got the Bulldogs playing awfully well.
Louisiana at North Point Christian, Mississippi, and no, that's not very far from each other.
It's just down, what's that road? Goodwill Road or something like that.
It's north and south of each other.
Yeah, going south out of the city of Memphis. Lausanne, Kevin LaCastro, one of my best coaching friends at Lausanne, and I think Lausanne probably wins that one and could be a factor in the Blue Cross Bowl. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Collier at Whitehaven.
Collierville's good. They hadn't lost a ball game yet, and they've played already at Germantown and Houston. They've played all the top runners, and I think Collierville maybe wins that one. It's tough to win at Whitehaven, but I think Collierville gets one.
Local picks, Murph, go through those for us.
All right, Bledsoe will be a good warm-up for Gordonsville in the playoffs. I got to go with the Tigers, though, in that one. Cannon County, they got their hands full at Marion. I'll have to go with Marion County in that one. I like Macon County over Watertown, and I'm going to go with DeKalb. I think they've got enough juice to drag the drama on one more week.
We want to thank our sponsors, Carthage Safeway, Huff and Puff Trucking, Nearstar, Sonic of Carthage, Underwood, Hometown Realty, and BDGR Excavating. For Justin Malden and Murphy Ferry, I'm Terry Collins. Good night from the box score.
Thanks for watching.